Hello world, Peter Ighofowe, Amrasa smiling. Welcome once again to the Ighofowe experience. What are the things you need to discover? What are the things you need to reflect on before you say yes or before you pop the question? What are the informations you need to get about yourself and your partner before you say yes or before you pop the question? So today we will be focusing on one concept. You could look at the concept from different views, but fundamentally, what are we talking about? It's what I call the marriage mode. What is your marriage mode? A marriage mode is talking about the fundamental views you hold about marriage that affects everything you think about marriage. So the way a mold decides the products that come out of it, that's the same way your view about marriage, your fundamental view about marriage will affect how you relate to marriage and affect how the things that will come out of you in relation to marriage. What's your fundamental view about marriage? And what is your partner's fundamental view about marriage? These are very key things. Some persons see marriage as a place where two lovebirds meet. So for you, you feel marriage is all about love. Love is a very fundamental aspect of marriage, but is love all it takes to marry? Because the truth is that the love that begins a marriage is not necessarily the love that keeps it. It's the love that is constantly discovered within the walls of the marriage. So that's why you wonder why two lovebirds who are crazy, passionate about each other and rush to the altar 6, 7 months, 8 months down the line, they are in the divorce court. Why? Because it goes beyond what you feel. So what's your view on marriage? When there is a clash of views and there is a clash of molds, you're going to have a defective product. When the similarity between what you see marriage as and what the other person sees marriage as, when the similarity is thin and disparity is very wide, there's likelihood that there's going to be a problem. Some other people see marriage as a contract, a deal, where two persons come together and make an agreement. And when they get to a point when one person feels like backing out of the agreement, it's simple. They simply back out. Another person sees marriage as a covenant. So you now find a situation where one person is doing everything they can do to keep the marriage, another person is just letting it slide. It's just a contract, it's just an agreement. Whenever I feel like walking away, I walk away. So when the Bible even said it, can two walk together except there be an agreement? If your marital views are not in agreement, there would be a problem. So before you say yes or before you pop the question, find out what your marital views are. Another thing very close to marital views are deal breakers. What are your deal breakers? For some lady, she will catch her man cheating and it's okay because in her view, men cheat. Another lady cannot even stand the thought of it. So you need to know what your deal breaker is and let the person know this is a deal breaker for me. I can handle it. I can't handle it. Because the fact that you are in love with someone does not necessarily mean the person can be a convener of your deal breaker. What do I mean a convener? The person can actually have a habit of that thing that you see is as a deal breaker. So before you say yes or before you pop the question, you need to discover what your deal breaker is, what their deal breaker is, so that you can ask yourself, can I cope with this? It is good to have feelings and be attracted, but you see those attractions, they don't always last. Attraction does not last forever. Attraction can fade with time. So something stronger needs to hold you. You don't go into a relationship without being informed. Because when you go into a relationship without being informed, the result is that you will be deformed. So it's important you know what you are dealing with. You need to know what your views are, what their views are. That's the reason why someone could actually walk into your life and do whatever they want to do and walk out. Why? They don't have the same views. They don't have the same views. They don't see that relationship as what you see. You know, it's funny to find out that you see a guy and a girl. The guy tells you that she's in a relationship with this guy, but the guy is telling you that he is in a friendship with the guy. What does that mean? He views what they have as just friendship. So they could be having friendship with benefits, but to him it's nothing but friendship. And the other girl sees in her mind that she's in a relationship that's heading to marriage. So you see the fact that there is disparity in their view of what they are doing is already setting them up for failure. So when we talk about before you say yes or before you pop the question, find out if there is similarity or convergence of your marital views. Find out how this person sees marriage. Find out what this person's deal breakers are. Are the deal breakers something that you usually do? Is it something you can handle? Is it something you can live with? You know, I once spoke to a guy who said his deal breaker is a girl having a child outside wedlock. For me, it was not a deal breaker for me because there's no guarantee the one who the guy is getting married to today that is not a virgin. There's no guarantee that she hasn't done some abortion before. But to that guy, it was so much of a deal breaker. Why? His dad had kids outside wedlock, so he didn't want to repeat the same. His dad married women who had kids before he got married to them, so he didn't want to repeat the same. So you don't know what certain things mean to people. It's important you have that conversation. It's important you know what things mean to them before you get involved in their lives or before you bring them into your life. What does marriage mean to you? What does marriage mean to your spouse? What are your deal breakers? Very essential questions you need to answer before you ask for a yes or before you say yes. I'll see you on the other side. Like I always say, if you like what we do, constantly hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, comment and share. Thank you.